Hi everyone and welcome to Scotia Live. I'm Simone Clark Cooper and today we have a very special session, Ask Audrey. We are talking to the Scotiabank Jamaica President and CEO, Audrey Tugwell Henry. She's here today to take our questions, to share some exciting updates and to give us a look into the future and what you can expect as a customer of Scotiabank. Today's session is on Zoom. If you are watching us, we welcome you and we thank you very much for joining us today. There's a lot to share and then we're going to invite you to send any questions you have towards the end of our conversation on any of the topics. And we are taking questions from Zoom and we'll do our best to answer, well, Audrey will do her best to answer as many of them as possible. So today we're here to talk about progress, how we're making banking simpler, faster and more meaningful for the people Scotiabank serves. Hello, madam. How are you?
I am very well, thanks,
It's
Simone.
good to see you.
Good to see you too.
This is a great initiative. You were telling me a little bit about the history of it.
Yes.
Started during COVID.
Yes, we started during COVID. Our dream head of marketing, Tanya, thought that we needed a way to connect with our clients, even though we needed to stay apart. Mm-hmm. So we started these webinar series. One of them was Ask Audrey. And so 3 years after, almost 4 years, we're doing it again. Yeah. So I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, that's what you do. You hold on to a good thing and you keep building on it. So we have Audrey here. So let's ask away. Let's start with our first question. We have folks watching today who are customers of the bank. We have folks watching for sure who are potential customers. You have current, existing and potential. For the folks who are looking on now, what should they expect from their bank?
Well, I think, Simone, and that's a great question and a great way to start. Let me just welcome all our viewers, all the persons watching. We appreciate the fact that you've taken the time to spend this afternoon with us, and so I hope you'll find it to be of great value. So what I would say is banking is built on trust, and an important question that I always encourage persons to ask as they consider engaging in a banking relationship is, what's the track record of this institution? Is this institution resilient? Is the institution worthy of taking this journey with them? Is the institution able to absorb shocks? Macroeconomic shocks, things will happen. We saw COVID. Yeah. We've had major hurricanes that have created disruptions. Is the institution financially stable, financially strong, resilient, and robust to work through and go through various cycles? So that's the first thing, and that's foundational. Mm-hmm. The second thing is, what are the options to do business with the institution? What are the distribution points? Are there opportunities to do business digitally, to do it in a branch setting? Are there available officers to interact with? And then, of course, does the institution have the depth and breadth of products and services to meet the financial needs? Because as individuals and as businesses, there are many needs that we need to meet our financial goals. So I would say that our institution, Scotia Group, we tick
all the boxes.
We tick all of the boxes. Obviously, we're a very resilient organization. You and I spoke at the beginning about the fact that we really are the only financial institution, certainly in Jamaica, and I would even expand that to regionally, that after 100 years has maintained the same name, the same ownership, and has just continued to build from strength to strength, adding new products and services as we have just continued offering financial services in Jamaica. Yeah. So we tick that box. We tick the box of resilience. We tick the box of a wide distribution network. We have 28 physical branch locations. We have almost 300 ABMs. We offer online and mobile banking services. And as you know, our mobile banking app is award-winning.
Yes.
For several years, we have won the best digital bank. So we also have a 24/7 client contact center that persons may call into. And of course, we have a wide distribution of point of sale terminals around. So
7,000?
Yes,
And growing.
A little over 7,000 and growing, right? So we have made sure that we have created an environment for our clients to have the opportunity to choose different ways to interact with us. And of course, we have 5 subsidiaries that we deliver various financial products and services through. So we tick all of those boxes. So I would say that a client should expect trust, financial strength, availability and access and convenience, and they should also expect to have a range of products and services that they can choose from.
Yeah, those are a lot of boxes, and the fact that Scotiabank is checking them augurs well for the folks who are watching. But also it's clear in the awards that the bank has received, shows you're doing something right. So having said all that and built out the high level, what is Scotiabank doing to make business easier for customers every day?
Right. So first of all, we invest very heavily in our team members, in our Scotia bankers, as we call them. Even though we have investment and insurance, we also refer to our team members. We call ourselves Scotia bankers. So we train our staff members to be able to meet the expectations of our clients. We have created and invested heavily in technology. And through that, we have added a number of simple ways for clients to do business with us frictionless. So for example, if you're an existing client and you would like an additional deposit account, you can do that on our mobile app or online banking, and it takes like 3 minutes. You don't
Look at you. It takes 3 minutes, guys. 3 minutes
you
already.
Don't need to,
yeah.
Yes, you don't need to do anything, right? And that's for the vast majority of our clients. Then, of course, we have now also invested, just to make it easy for new clients to do business with us, we have invested in a new bit of technology that allows new-to-bank clients to start that process online or on the mobile app. Just the 3 easy steps. The only thing they need to come into the bank to do is to be validated and accept the debit card. And we're expecting to get to that end-to-end straight through digital, even for new-to-bank clients, quickly and sometime in the future. The other thing that we've done is very simple sort of day-to-day encounters. If you need embassy letters or any sort of letters from the bank, you don't need to go to a branch to wait in line to get that. You can call our contact center, our client experience center. They can email that to you. And an important point, Simone, that I'd like to make is that our customers really have accepted the digital and the online platforms that we have put in place. Today, 98% of all our retail transactions happen outside of a branch. And to put that in context, we do 140 million transactions, right? So, and 98% of that happens outside of the bank.
So this notion of resistance is not a thing anymore.
And
that's for your retail clients. And you say for commercial, it's
commercial,
higher?
it's higher. Commercial, it's tending towards almost 100%. Our commercial clients, other than cash transactions, are by and large using the Scotia Online for Business. So we have really, 1, invested in the technology, and 2, we have trained, if I should use that word loosely, we have made sure that our clients understand how to use the services. And then we have our relationship officers, our bank staff, our contact center agents who can then support our customers with anything else that they need to do.
That was a great investment because now you're seeing the return.
Yes, absolutely.
You mentioned some of the things, so you preempted this question, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to answer it in full. What sets Scotiabank apart from other institutions? I
would say the first thing that sets us apart as a financial services institution is the strength of Scotiabank. The fact that our clients can trust us. They know that when they do business with us, they are safe. So I would say that's the first thing.
Important.
The second thing is the team. The Scotiabank team members are awesome. Big shout out to everyone in Scotia Group. They're awesome. They lean into the needs of the clients. They go above and beyond. And then the third thing is the level of investments that we continue to make. We're not just sitting on our laurels as a 136-year-old financial fortress.
Yeah.
We're leaning into innovation, into technology, into digital, into making sure that we stay relevant for our customers.
Yeah.
So I'd say those are just a few of the things that set us apart.
So you're talking about helping small businesses, owners get financing, guiding young professionals through their first mortgage, which we're going to talk about a little bit later because Scotiabank is making, it's a big deal. We'll tell you about it later.
Yes.
Let's talk about one question that I'm sure you're asked every day at least 100 times, and that is about your ATMs.
Yes.
You keep hearing from customers, especially when it comes to downtime or finding a working machine. So can you share with us what's being done to improve that experience for the customers of Scotiabank?
So for us, the ABM channel is very important. We have over 800,000 clients. We have 300 ABMs that support the reach of our clients. So on average, that's probably 2,800 clients per machine. Prior to 2023, things were going well. But what we found is when we made that transition to the polymer notes, the wide network of ABMs that we had, that created some hiccups for us because the cotton notes, we had done, we had been using cotton notes through the ABMs for a long time. And so that was just very seamless. So we went through that phase of the transition from cotton to polymer. And, no matter how you test and you prepare, once you go live, it's a completely different thing. So that was one issue.
Yes.
So coming out of that, we recognized that we had to make some further modifications to our ABM network. So we did a lot of remediation of parts right across over 200 machines. We remediated the parts, so that was critical. The second thing that we did was we changed out a number of what we refer to as older machines. So an ATM has...
Is that the legacy ones?
The legacy ones. They have a life cycle. So an ABM has a life cycle of roughly about 8 years. The rate at which our ABMs are used, our life cycle can be a little bit shorter. So we changed out what we call our old legacy machines. And then we also this year we added about 6 new ABMs. So we are gradually increasing the number of ABMs in the fleet. We also had to do quite a bit of software upgrades. And then when we look at what is required to just cash, and the need for cash is the biggest use of the network. And then second, it would be the clients wanting to deposit through the ABMs. So in recognition of that, what we have done is we are looking at what we call our denomination mix. So I know people like change, but we have had to sacrifice change for availability. So we have been putting in larger notes, the $2,000 and the $5,000 notes in what we call our high traffic areas. To ensure that we have a good stock and good supply of cash for withdrawals. The other thing is we work very closely with our service provider to look at the data and determine when to restock and so on. Now, clearly we are not where we want to be in terms of the service delivery at our ABMs, but it has our full attention. We have a full action plan. We have been executing well and on time with the action plan, so we actually have seen an improvement in the delivery of service. But 2 things, we need to get to the standard that the central bank has set in the governance and to maintain that 95% consistently. And then we also have to make sure that we continue to expand the network in terms of reliability and as well as additional machines where needed and replacements of older units as they age over time because our business is growing.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that we can manage the growth of the business while still meeting the needs of our customers, because that's the business we're in.
Correct.
The customer is the business, and the business is the customer.
Yeah, tension wire. It's a balancing act, but you've been doing a good job of staying on that wire. So looking ahead now, you're on track to replace the legacy ABMs.
Yes.
And then you are working on the denomination mix initiative that's targeting about nearly 200 machines?
Yes, about 200 machines. And so what we'll do is we'll continue to monitor to see how the new mix that we're putting in based on the notes and the usage, and then we'll make modifications if we need to. But we're well on track, and we're seeing from our data the improvement in the uptime, the improvement in availability, but we know that we still have some work to do.
I appreciate the insight regarding the change, because I don't think a lot of people, I didn't know that, so that's a learning for me. So bigger notes, important for availability, right? You want the money? Right. Okay, great.
The other thing, if I may, and I'm glad that I have this opportunity to make this special appeal. One of the key challenges we have with ABM availability is vandalism. So we have a very high percentage of ABMs that are vandalized by persons, members of the public. Now, it's always difficult to identify the person doing it. It is oftentimes very difficult to, there's no recourse for the organization. We just have to replace the ABM. But ABM replacement takes time because we do not manufacture ABMs in Jamaica. Right. So I'm appealing to members of the public to help us to safeguard the machines and to encourage members of your families, members of your communities, to protect the hardware, because an ABM is an unmanned terminal. And so when persons either vandalize out of, rage, or attempt to steal the machine or to remove the cash, it really puts us in a difficult position. I think this year alone we have had about 27 cases of vandalism. And so that continues to be one of the key issues impacting ABM availability.
It's a shame that you have to say that, but I'm glad that you said that. All right, so we've mentioned the ABMs, and high level spoken about the winning bank mentality, but let's drill down to some of the other things that we're doing to make clients better off. Let's start by talking a little bit about direct customer feedback channels.
Yes. So one of the big investments that we made is in a bit of technology called Pulse. And what Pulse helps us to do is it allows our clients to give us feedback in real time on their service experience. Now, we have implemented Pulse now probably about 6 years, and it is a valuable tool because it not only gives us the responses from the clients, we also are able to extract analytics so we can determine what are the key client pain points.
Excellent.
So that is a very important part of our business. We have 4 strategic pillars, and one of the pillars is making it easy for our clients to do business with us. So through the Pulse, we get direct feedback from our clients, and it allows us to address the key client pain points, which is why we have stayed on ABMs for so long, because that is elevated as a key client issue.
Keeping your finger on the pulse.
Right.
Yes.
So that's one key channel of customer feedback for us, and we also get feedback through our ongoing interactions with our clients, and we get feedback through our client contact center.
What about your personalized banking? Talk to me about that.
Right. So we actually have a cadre of what we call our personal bankers and our relationship officers, as well as our advisors. And that allows our clients who interface with our personal bankers to give us feedback. We also take client feedback through our online and mobile channels as well. So we have quite a wide range of opportunities to get feedback from our clients.
What about your risk management and controls?
Right. So that is I should have mentioned that as one of the key strengths and differentiating factor for Scotiabank. We have a robust risk management framework And we refer to it as our 3 lines of defense. So the first line would be the persons that our clients interface with. And the 3 lines of defense are that methodology is established not just to protect the bank, but to protect our clients as well. So our risk management framework is quite robust. Our second line would be our risk managers, our compliance officers, and so on. And then our third line is our audit function. So our risk management is a key organization structure that has really helped to make Scotiabank the robust and strong, resilient financial fortress that we are. And that is a key competency for Scotia Group.
Okay, and how are you making things better for clients in terms of pricing?
Okay, so that is, fortunately for us, one of our other strengths. The way we manage the bank, the way we manage our business, we pass on a lot of that efficiency to our clients. So if we were to go to speak a little bit about mortgage and mortgage pricing, we're very proud that we recognize that mortgages represent a key, not the mortgage, home ownership represents a key aspiration for every Jamaican. And we at Scotiabank, within the commercial bank, we have placed a lot of emphasis on supporting our clients to be financially better off. And owning your home is one of those key attributes. So what we've been doing in terms of pricing is all the investments we have made in technology and simplifying work processes, simplifying client interaction. We've been able to pass some of that on to our clients. Also, we fund our business in a very simple way. We do not do wholesale funding, so we are able to pass on a lot of that better pricing for our clients.
And being able to meet your clients where they are through the tailored credit solutions that you have.
Correct. And so we talked about mortgages, but for our retail clients, we are also able to provide all types of consumer loans. So we are able to provide auto loans. We partner a lot with auto dealers. We partner a lot with realtors in our mortgage programs. And then we also do regular unsecured loans that will allow our clients to do things that most people aspire to. Sometimes someone may want to take a vacation. They may need to help with back to school. So we provide unsecured loans to help our clients to do that. And then on the business side, we have negotiated tailored lending programs to support capital expansion, both for small businesses as well as for larger entities.
Okay. You mentioned that most of your customers now are doing business online.
Yes.
But you still have folks who are coming into the bank.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the in-branch experience. How is that evolving? So
the in-branch experience is actually, I would say, has gone through an evolution. At Scotiabank, across our network of branches, we do not allow our customers to queue standing up in lines. We implemented a queuing system that we call Queue Flow. It allows the clients to take a number and then they can sit and wait to be served. So I know typically you look at a bank branch and you'll see what we call stanchions, and persons are standing up and going around in the stanchions. We got rid of that over 6 years ago. So our clients, they take a number, they take a seat, and they're served. So we've also renovated our branches, and we have created purpose-driven spaces in, for example, like our digital branch locations, where we do not have over-the-counter cash, because those clients tend to use our ABMs, or they may use online banking or mobile banking. So we have purpose-driven spaces where persons can sit in a meeting room with their personal banker and discuss their financial future.
Right.
So that
in privacy and
the privacy.
Convenient. Right.
Now, admittedly, even though more than 98% of our branch transactions happen outside of the branch network, we have over 800,000, close to 850,000 clients. So we still are investing in improving the wait time in our branches. That's a big opportunity for us. We've been spending time, resources, and efforts to look at the flow of transactions in the branches because we want our clients to have a good branch experience. We want the branch experience to be equal or better than even the online experience. But one thing we are very proud of is the attitude of our staff. They're friendly, they're willing to assist, they're very available, and they go the extra mile.
Fantastic, which is why the bank is where it is. You're watching Ask Audrey. You folks on Zoom, we understand there are quite a bit of questions coming in. So we see them and we will ask them, and keep them coming, please. Audrey will answer them in just a matter of minutes. So we just mentioned in branch, let's go back online and let's talk about cybersecurity, which is a huge concern globally. Tell us about the steps that Scotiabank has taken to ensure that customers are protected.
Right. So for us, online is an important channel. I think COVID proved to us the value of online availability and digital. And beyond that, just the convenience of being able to do your transactions online. But what we have done, we have built a robust monitoring system within the bank because we're a global bank, so we really adhere to the global standards for cybersecurity. And of course, there's all that architecture. I am non-technical. So
You're doing a good job.
I'm non-technical, so I'm not going to get into the details of how our cybersecurity system is built. But we have a robust, layered, we refer to it almost like an apple because you have different layers before you can even get to our core system. So we built a robust cybersecurity system to protect the business that we do. And then we also train our employees on an annual basis, plus ongoing training for employees as to how to prevent any intrusion through cybersecurity. And everyone is trained from my level to our ancillary level staff. So everyone has to complete cybersecurity training, how to identify cyber attempts, how to protect the bank and the clients. So that's an important component. And then the next level is how we educate and engage our clients around cyber.
And empower them.
And empower them to protect themselves. So we have built in our online application credit card controls, where a client can then turn off their credit card, or they can set limits, they can turn off international transactions, they can turn off e-commerce transactions, so they can monitor and manage. And then they get alerts.
Good.
They get security alerts. Whenever a transaction is done, they get an in-app alert or an alert through an email to advise them that this transaction has happened. We encourage our clients, if you see transactions that are not yours, that you reach out to us. We are going to, before we get to the end of this year, we intend to now roll out alerts for controls, debit card controls, where clients can do the same thing on their debit cards. We have been working on that project for a while. It required quite a bit of technology development and quite a bit of work, but we have stayed with it because it is important. And then layered on top of that is our fraud monitoring for transactions. So we have, in instances, alerted clients to the fact that we see transactions that are being processed on their accounts that we do not think that they did.
The bank does that proactively.
Right, because we use technology, I'm going to use the term AI loosely, but we have behavioral rules, and when we see transactions outside of those behavioral rules for our clients, then we alert them as well if they have not alerted us.
Fantastic.
So we recognize the risk of cyber, but we also recognize the importance of continuing to have our clients using online and using the mobile platform, and we want to give our clients the confidence that they can use it because the bank has enough security there, and we have also enabled them And we're asking our clients, please pay attention. If you get an alert and you didn't do it, please reach out to us. If you see a transaction that has been pushed to you for an authentication for a code, if you didn't do that transaction, do not accept the code and put the code in, because that would mean that you're then facilitating a transaction that's not yours. So we have done a lot around cyber. You know, there's the criminals are always trying to stay one step ahead of you. But I think so far, when we think about the volume of transactions that are processed, the number of clients that we have, and the intensity of the fraudulent attempts, we have really been able to stay ahead of the curve. And 99% of our transactions that go through our client's account go through effortlessly and frictionless and seamless. But we do not take it for granted. We continue to build on our capabilities.
Yeah, there's one more line of defense that you've put in through this latest fraud awareness campaign, which we can speak about authoritatively because we've watched the ad 100 times today. Spotting the scam and stopping the fraud.
Spotting the scam and stopping the fraud, because we understand that the fraudsters are also using AI, so they will clone voices and use, all sorts of intelligent ways to get information from our clients. We ask that you never share your banking information, your PIN, your passwords, we have what we call like secret codes, and there are some questions that only you should know, that you not share that information with anyone, because the bank will never ask you for your PIN or your password at any time for any interaction that you're doing with us.
Yeah.
So identify the scam and stop the fraud. We've trained our employees, they're very well trained, and now we're really making our best effort to train our clients to be able to identify that and stop it.
Because you mentioned them, the transactions that have been pushed to your card or your account that you have not done,
yes,
Scotiabank deals with on the back end.
Right.
Usually you report it to the bank, and within 45 days, you say? The simpler ones are resolved.
Right. So what happened, and let me just address that.
Yes.
There was a period of time where we were advising clients that we will take 120 days to resolve complaints regarding transactions that customers did not do or that were suspicious. I'd like to clarify that 120-day looked at the end-to-end cycle to manage what we call chargebacks through whether it be Visa or MasterCard. We have now modified our communication to our clients. So if anybody's telling you 120 days, that's not correct. So the maximum time for resolution is 45 days. And if we're going to go beyond that, then we would definitely reach out to our clients and explain what the issue is. But our intent is to have speedy resolutions to meet the needs of the clients, because we know how unsettling it is when clients have transactions on their accounts that are not theirs.
And how important it is to free up their cards, or
right, so they get their funds
correct.
back.
Okay, thank you for that. Inroads into not just inroads, you've taken over and dominated the roads. Mortgages. Now, when people think about Scotiabank, typically mortgages don't come to mind, but you just received an award for leadership in this space as well.
Yes. So we, at the end of our second quarter, we had $106 billion in residential mortgages as part of our book of business. And that for us is more about our clients and our clients' need than it is for what the bank needs. And as I mentioned before, every Jamaican has a dream of owning their own homes. And I recently had a conversation with my husband, and I said to him, it is important for persons to acquire their own homes, because as you get older, old age poverty is real. And if there's one thing that people need to have when they're old, is a roof over your head. And so we're very proud of the work that we have been able to do to simplify our mortgage processes, to appropriately price our mortgages, even in a high interest rate environment, to help our clients to meet that financial goal of owning their own homes. And we look at our client relationship beyond just a single transaction or a single product. So for the clients who we support them with a mortgage to purchase their homes, we also provide them with a deposit account with they can set up their savings, their standard monthly savings through what we call our automatic savings plan. We help them we have opportunities for Scotia Bridge for clients who are either self-employed or their employer does not offer a pension plan. They can establish a pension plan to plan for their years of retirement. And so we have Scotia Bridge. We offer an insurance policy for general insurance. We partner with Grace Kennedy, and so we can also provide the insurance for the home, for the property. So we don't just see this as sort of just bracing through to book a whole bag of mortgages. We see this as a full relationship with our clients and to provide all the services that they need to be financially better off.
Make their lives better. But you've worked hard to make the process easier than it usually is.
Yes.
Pre-qualified on the spot?
We can.
That's a thing?
It is a thing, and it is a real thing. And the thing about mortgages, they do take some time because there's a lot of interaction with government agencies and so on. But the approval to say, yes, we can give you a mortgage, you qualify based on your income, based on your credit history and so on, we can do that immediately.
And you've streamlined documentation and reduced processing times?
Yes, we have.
Rates are some of the most competitive?
Yes,
I understand. Yes,
they are.
Without a doubt. You've partnered with real estate professionals and developers to make the home buying journey smoother. In what way? Tell me a little bit more about that.
So what we have what we call a Realtors program. And so most times when persons are trying to buy a home, a realtor is usually a key part of that process. So we have a program where the realtor can refer the client to us, and then we can take them through that process.
So we built out a whole ecosystem.
We built out a whole ecosystem. And an important thing is our willingness to partner with others to make it easier for our clients.
Yeah. Okay. What about loans, Audrey? What is Scotiabank doing to make banking faster and easier when it comes to loans?
Right. So we do have what I would call some digital offers. So we can and we do sometimes extend an offer digitally for a loan to our clients. So, we based on our algorithm, where we think the client is, what we think might be a need that the client will have, we sometimes make offers to our clients for loans. We also have not only worked on our mortgage process, but we have worked on refining and automating aspects of our Scotia Plan loan process to turn that around in a day or 2 days. We have also worked on partnerships with auto dealers to connect clients who have a need to purchase a car through a dealership, through us. So we actually have some persons who sit in some of the dealerships who can interface and interact with clients at the same time, give them some indication of what the requirements would be and whether or not they would qualify. So we've done a number of things because we recognize that most persons, in order to acquire assets, will need to have some funding, some loans to be able to do that.
What about for the engine of growth in any economy, the MSMEs? What are you doing to support?
So we have been supporting small businesses for many years, and I'm very proud of one program that it's a signature program for us. It's our Scotia Vision Achievers. We have helped over and supported over 300 entrepreneurs through our Scotia Vision Achievers program, and that is a program that is fully funded by Scotiabank. And what we do is we partner with Action Coach, which is a business coaching solution led by Marcia Woonchoy, and we offer 17 weeks of business coaching to small business owners. That program has added tremendous value and has had a multiplier effect on several businesses that have gone from struggling to being able to manage the business well. And Marcia has a mantra where she says, you should be working on the business, not just working in the business. So we're very, very proud of that program. We also are well placed as a bank to support our small business owners in establishing that very important operating bank account, because we know that the average person is working 99% of the time in the business, and so we work to help our SMEs to organize themselves to be able to, at some point, access bank capital funding to be able to expand the business and to grow the business. So we help them to go through the coaching that they need to strengthen their business, to build their business capabilities. We offer the deposit accounts. We offer lines of credits to them. We also offer the dedicated business bankers who manage a portfolio of clients. So we know that sometimes small business owners may say, well, they can't access loans, but part of accessing loans is that readiness to be able to do that. And so we take our clients along that journey so that when they borrow, it actually adds value to the business and does not put the business at risk.
Right. And you're seeing strong digital adoption among your SME clients as well.
Very strong digital adoption, because it is more efficient, very easy for them to get their business done. And so the take-up of that, more than 71% of our small business clients are active in the digital space.
I love the Scotiabank Vision Achiever program. I'm even more heartened to see each year that a lot of the folks who go for this award are women.
Yes.
And I was very proud to be a part of the launch of this very special initiative I'm going to ask you about, that you launched in 2022,
yes,
which focuses on women in business.
It does. So our research shows that women business owners struggle to keep their businesses viable. But at the same time, the viability of businesses led by women really helps to build communities. That was a bit of research that was done through our global bank, Scotia, in Canada, and they launched the Scotia Women's Initiative. The opportunity came for that to be rolled out in other countries, and Jamaica was very proud to be the first country,
of course,
in international banking to launch the Scotia Women's Initiative. And that program has been hugely successful. There are 3 pillars to our SWI. So there's access to capital, there's an education pillar, and there's an advisory pillar. And over the 3 years, we have touched over 1,000 women business owners through all 3, through the various pillars, particularly the education and the advisory. We're also very pleased that we have extended capital close to $4 billion, $3.9 billion of lending to women business owners. And that was, for us, exceptional, because before SWI, we were not tracking how were we as an organization that is very much focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. How are we supporting women to be better off and to drive their businesses? So we had set aside $3 billion at a discounted rate that we wanted to lend to women to drive their businesses, and we're very pleased that we're able to do that. We have lending right across multiple sectors and to a number of women who have benefited tremendously from our access to capital pillar.
So if there are female entrepreneurs watching this now and you've had a difficulty getting funding, which is research showed, right?
Yes.
Men were getting money easier than women were.
Yes.
Then this initiative is one that they can come to Scotiabank and
for sure
find out more about. Okay, you heard it right here. Now let's turn our attention to the call centers. We've heard some talk about the concern about the language differences and people complaining that it's difficult to communicate with the folks at the contact center. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Right. So how we are structured, because we're a global bank, we actually have 3 big contact centers in our region. There's one in Jamaica, there is one in the DR, and then there's one in Colombia. And so there is support across the 3 centers for all the countries in our region. And we recognize that the issue of language was it wasn't so much, I think could have been like the accent, or there was some dissonance with the language issue. So a number of the calls still get streamed to Jamaica for the English Caribbean, but we went a step further and we did some studies, we listened in on the calls, we made sure that we were hiring persons that were very fluent in English, even though it would have been a second language.
Right.
And so we have seen some wins. We measure the feedback through Pulse, and we have seen a reduction in the responses around the language barrier issues. But anecdotally, and if I talk to anyone, sometimes I will say that language is an issue, but we continue to work with the teams, and we continue to strengthen and support the what we call our JMCC, the Jamaica Contact Center, or Client Experience Center, as we now have renamed it. We continue to make sure that that center remains robust and strong, and continue to take calls for our key clients, particular clients with more complex needs.
And it's great that you're tracking
Yes.
and measuring that. Okay, so you are in the second year of a 5-year strategy.
Yes.
That's obviously been working very well. What's next for Scotiabank?
So I would say there's a lot on the horizon for us. So I mentioned at the beginning of our conversation that we have 4 strategic pillars that we're working on. The first one is to continue to grow and scale in our key markets. We were very pleased that when Scott Thompson, our global president and CEO, when he spoke to the investors in Canada on Investor Day, which was December 23, that the Caribbean was named as a core market. A core market.
Core market.
And that was good for us as a region, and also very good for Jamaica, even more specifically as the largest English-speaking Caribbean country. So the expectation is that Scotiabank is in Jamaica. Scotiabank is committed to Jamaica. Scotiabank believes in the Caribbean. We are the most international Canadian bank. So we are represented across 30 countries. And so for the Caribbean to be named as a core market, that was very good for us. And so what our clients and the Jamaican public can expect from Scotiabank over the next few years is a continued execution of our core 5-year strategy. So the first one is to grow and scale in the designated markets, of which the Caribbean region is one and Jamaica is one. The second one is continued work to make it easy for our clients to do business with us, and that is across all the channels, whether you do business in the branch, whether you do business in our insurance company, in our investment company, in our general insurance company, through our corporate banking, whether you're a small business owner. Our aim is to continue to invest over the next 3 years to make sure that our clients find it easy to do business with us. We do not take it for granted that persons have chosen Scotiabank. While we're very happy that we actually bank generations because we've been here 135 years, we have generations. We have banked the great-grandmother, the grandmother, the granddaughter, so we've been banking generations, but we don't take it for granted. So what persons can expect is continued work to make it easy for our clients to do business with us. They can continue to expect to see us doubling down on working to be the primary bank for our clients. Client primacy is everything for us. We do not want to have transactional relationships. We want to make sure that our clients see us, trust us, and choose us as their primary institution, the institution that they get their salaries from. They buy their first home with
their first car,
their
retirement
the first
plan.
account for their baby, the first account for their wedding, every milestone. We are here to celebrate every milestone with our clients, and we want to be an integral part of that. And then the other thing is continued investment in our risk management framework, continued investment in cyber, continued investments in operational efficiencies, continued investments in making the processes and the interactions with us seamless. We're not satisfied that our client feedback scores are very high. The score could be 100, and we're working to be at 100, right? So that's important. And then, of course, our clients can continue to believe and know that we continue to build the best team to be there front and center to do business with them. We have a highly professional, hardworking cadre of Scotia bankers, and we continue to invest in them every day, not just so that they can provide, employment and deal with our clients, but we believe that when we invest in our people, we're investing in their families, their well-being,
right.
And we're investing in Jamaica.
That's right. Those are your boots on the ground.
Those are your
soldiers on the battlefield, and that's why you win.
And that's why we win.
That's why you win.
That pillar is called winning as one team.
How many know? Where do I win for that? Scotiabank working to be your first choice for all your financial needs. All right, so Audrey has been doing quite a bit of talking.
Yes.
But this is about Ask Audrey, so that's why she's here. We have quite a few questions on Zoom. So let's hear what you folks have to say and go to our first question, which is there a Scotiabank branch in the USA, and in what state?
Okay, so
this is from Lester Smith.
Thank you,
Hi, Lester.
at Lester Smith, for your question. So we do have operations in the U.S., but those are more corporate operations. So we do not have a branch network available to manage in-branch transactions. So not in the U.S., but in Canada, in all of the Caribbean, in Mexico, Peru, Chile, and across some other countries, but our branch network, there's no branch network in the U.S.
Okay, so Lester, none in the U.S., but you can travel to any of the places that Audrey just told you, a whole slate of countries, and find one there. The other one is an anonymous question. I want to ask it nonetheless. It says, why not use a reliable courier service to send new credit cards to account holders?
So yes, we do. At Zoom, thank you for that question. We do use a courier service to deliver credit cards. As a matter of fact, that's the preferred method. Mm-hmm. If a client asks to pick up a credit card in the branch, we'll accommodate it, but we prefer to distribute using that service.
All right. All right, let's have the next question on screen, please. At Zoom again, how do we find a way to make opening an account easier? As it stands, we need 2 character references. Please expound on why. Audrey's reaction says you're wrong.
Yes, I'm very happy for that question. So, Scotia Group, as a financial entity, and the Bank of Nova Scotia Jamaica Limited is regulated by the Bank of Jamaica. the requirement for references was a regulatory requirement in the past. The Bank of Jamaica has simplified and removed that as a requirement. So at Scotiabank, we do not require 2 references to establish a bank account.
But also, as per the other ad we were watching today, you can open your first account online?
Account online.
In 3 minutes?
In 3 minutes. So that's if you're an existing client. And then if you're not, and if you're new to our bank, you can go to our website and start that process. It takes probably about 10 minutes if you're quite comfortable, because you actually have to upload some documents. You have to scan and upload a few documents, and then you just come into the bank to validate and pick up your debit card. So it is very, very easy. Just watch the ad again. It is very easy, even if you're not an existing client of Scotiabank, to open a bank account using our online portal.
Okay, thank you for that question. Here's the other one. Oh, when will Scotiabank roll out Apple Pay?
Okay, that's a good question.
Google Pay?
Right,
Google Play?
So we actually have done a pilot. We're very well prepared and ready to be able to do that. However, it's not yet available in the Caribbean region. We just recently rolled it out. Well, I should say in the English Caribbean region. We just recently rolled it out in the DR, so we expect that within the next year or so, we'll be able to bring Apple Pay to the market.
Excellent. Okay, next question. Loading. At Novlet, Thai Novlet, why have they removed the Dropbox option in the branch?
Okay, so thank you for that question, Novlet. Many, many years ago, when we didn't have digital options, we had placed in branch some drop boxes. At the time, I was involved in product delivery at Scotia, and it was seen as new technology.
Look at that. Open the box, drop it in, close the box.
Because you used to get an electronic, like a digital stamp and so on. But over time, that technology became very old. Yeah. The drop boxes were failing. We were not able to deliver the quality service. We had some branches that had it, some branches that didn't. And then the operational work of retrieving them, posting the checks and so on. We rolled out something that we thought was better, which was making your deposits at the ABMs where you can do cash or checks. And so we removed the drop box because the service quality was very bad and we were not able to keep all the boxes functioning at the level because that technology was no longer reliable or available.
Okay. All right. Novlet, answered? Okay, great. At Alicia, at what age is a child eligible for a Scotiabank debit card?
Oh my gosh, now this person is taking me down into details. We do have junior accounts. I can't tell you the exact age, to be honest with you, I don't recall. But with parental consent, we can give a card to a child. But that's one of the questions I'll have to come back to you on.
Okay. All right, but with parental consent, she's saying it's possible. So Novlet, you can get the details from your Scotiabank branch. And Zoom says, do you have a 24-hour online chat for customers coming up?
It is desirable. It's on a roadmap, but I can't say it is coming up. It's one of the things that we're looking at as another way to make it easy for our clients to do business with us, but that's not on an immediate roadmap.
Okay. One final question, folks, for this particular engagement, but someone from Scotiabank is seeing all the questions that are not answered here tonight, and we'll be in touch with you to answer them. This is the final one we're going to have. Is Scotiabank thinking of allowing international wire transfers in the future within the online banking platform anytime soon?
Yes, we are. We have been working on that. We are testing, and we're very pleased and hopeful that will be rolled out before the end of this year.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, so before we wrap, I mean, if there are folks watching on the Zoom now who are still on the fence, who want to make a banking decision, why Scotiabank?
Well, there's every reason to choose Scotiabank. Scotiabank has demonstrated resilience, strength, fortitude over 136 years. Yet we are not an old bank. We're a bank that has brought innovation to the market. We are a bank that is very much focused on making our clients financially better off. We are a full financial services group. We can meet your end-to-end financial services needs. We have our dedicated teams are available to support you. We have a wide distribution network. We offer many channels through which you can do business. And if you are a, individual, or you're a small business, or you're a large corporate, we have the opportunity to connect you with a global network of businesses and services that will make your life better off. So I would say the sky's the limit for Scotia, and there are many, many reasons to choose us. But the main one is that we're built on trust, integrity, and strength. So at Scotiabank, I can only say you're safe with us.
How does it feel to lead such an amazing team?
Very, very.
Institution and having so many wins.
I'm actually very humbled with this opportunity. For me, it has always been about what I can bring to the role and not necessarily what the role can bring to me. But I'm particularly proud to lead the team because this team, they're committed, they're resilient, they're client-focused, they are very much focused on bringing their best selves to work every day.
No matter what.
No matter what. We're not perfect. But I want to especially give a shout out to our frontline employees. During COVID, we never closed our branches, except when in the early days of COVID, where if there was a COVID case in the branch, you had to close it to clean it.
Right. Sterilize.
And that was the only time. But otherwise, our staff members were out every single day delivering the best service they can to our clients. So I'm very proud to lead this team. It is the honor of my life.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mrs. Tugwell Henry. This was a lovely chat.
It was.
Thank you very much for your questions, and to Scotiabank Jamaica President and CEO, Mrs. Audrey Tugwell Henry, for taking them and for answering them. Of course, if you have further questions, just leave them there in the Zoom. As we said, if we're not we can't answer tonight because we're about to wrap, but someone from Scotiabank has seen them and will get in touch with you re-answers. Thank you very much for watching today's session, everybody, and we hope to see you on our next Scotia Live. Bye-bye.
Thank you.